What up out there, YouTube? Travel Wolves in the building. For today's video, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Coming off of this last video, the Royal Rumble in Cartagena, right? What they're calling it, right? We're going to talk about African American men, black men, and our economics, aka our finances. Why are we so broke? Why? Is it systemic racism at play? I'm being facetious here. I know it's systemic racism at play. Is it years of economic inequality? What does that mean? That means for many years, you were kept not only out of the great economic booms of several decades, you were also excluded from joining unions, joining other professional guilds where we could obtain higher levels of employment. And we were also kept out of many government positions for a long time that weren't menial. Most of our government positions were menial. So, why are we so hard up? Well, as you know, if you know how America works, it's based on the inheritance of wealth. What is that? That's the passing of assets from one generation to another, i.e., your grandfather to his son. This is your father to you, to your son, to your grandson, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, contrary to popular belief, the dominant culture has been doing this for a very long time. Since the inception of the country. Since the inception of the country. Before that even. Before the 13 colonies. Some people have been around here a very long time. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, there's a book you can read. I'll put it in the description box. It's by an economist. There's actually two books you can read. One is called The Black Tax by Stacy. I can't think of his last name, but I'll put them all in the description box. And the other book is, I can't think of the name of it, but it's going to talk to you about how it takes 20 years, everything going well, to get out of poverty. It takes 20 years, everything going well. What does that mean? That means that for 20 years, you have to participate in the economic system, and everything has to go well. No recessions, no periods of extreme high unemployment, no red days, no Black Fridays, no pun intended, because that's actually a real holiday now, right? But it used to be a black mark on, it used to be a progenitive for a bad day on Wall Street, right? It has to go well. 20 years. And the dominant culture has had 300, 400 years of 20 years. I don't know what 400 divided by 20 is, but that's how many cycles of wealth creation they've had. Healthy, established, strong, that we've been kept out of, okay? That African American and black men have been kept out of, okay? So, and we're still being kept out of it today. The numbers don't lie. You guys like statistics, you guys like to Google stuff. Go in and Google which group of men make the most money in America, and then tell me you love America when you see where you're at as an African American man. You tell me you love America after seeing who makes the most money. And then look at who has the most assets and the accumulation of wealth. And then you tell me you love America. You tell me if you believe America has really been fair to you. Because guess what? You're working harder than your father, who worked harder than his father, who worked harder than his father. And nobody still has shit. Okay? So How does this happen in Cartagena? People are like pointing their fingers. Oh, it's the girls. Oh, it's the guy. Oh, it's, it's just the fucking full moon. No, it's none of those things. It's our economics. Why is it our economics? Because you have to have the ability to make someone an offer that they can't turn down. That's an offer that's too good to be true, okay? They can't turn down, that you can actually produce. So I'll give you an example real quick. I'll tell you a story. Last summer, I went to Aruba. Very expensive place. Very expensive place. I mean, oh my goodness, just for me to eat it was like $55. And I was at a place that was like at the Olive Garden. Could imagine if I went somewhere nice. So I remember there was we got there and we wanted to go eat, and there was a restaurant that was recommended. Why I keep listening to these people with their recommendations, but whatever. So we go there, and there's only one table left. It's hot in the sun. We sit down. The table is hot, scorching hot. We've been sitting in the sun all day. As soon as we get there, I see somebody I'm with already beeping, already bleeding. They don't really do that a whole lot. And I was like, yeah, this is hot. All right, so let's go somewhere else. Let's try to change the table. So I see a table that's open in the shade, but it's 2 chairs. And I say, hey, can we sit there? And they go, no, it's only for 2 people. And I go, it's only for 2 people? They go, yeah, it's only for 2 people. And I'm like, well, can you put another chair to it? They go, no. Now, I think people just love to tell me no. I don't understand it, but they just love to tell me no. They just don't want to cooperate, right? So I say to him, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tip you $500 US right now for that, to make that a 3-person table. He go, no. I'm like, what? Is this motherfucker crazy? $5 tip. Is this motherfucker crazy? Is he fucking me? I say, okay, you know what? I say 700. He still say no. I say, okay, all right. You know what? Maybe I'm being cheap. Okay, fuck it. 1,000. And this motherfucker still said no. Now, it's not the point that they refuse to cooperate. I know what the reason behind that was. The point is that had they said yes, I would have been able to produce the amount of money desired to accomplish my goal. That's what money is. Money is an oar that you use to row your boat. Without your oar, you can't row your boat up the stream. Merrily, right? So it took me a very long time, and yes, I'm able to live my bachelor life because I don't have kids. I don't have baby mamas. I don't have child support, right? That's by choice. That's why I get really frustrated, because I know why I'm out here playing the playboy role. I don't know why you're out here. You're all cozy, cuddle, cuffing women. Y'all should be starting families, man. I know why I'm out here, but y'all should be starting families, and all this should be all mine, by myself. So I think you're just being greedy, selfish. But anyway, that's how one of the reasons I'm able to make things happen like that, right? But also because, like I said, I've worked 7-8 years building up to this place where I'm at right now in my life, both socially and economically. And it wasn't easy. It was a lot of sacrifices. But I wanted to change my life. I wanted to stop wasting my money in strip clubs and not being constructive, and I wanted more. I wanted economic security. And only after falling into blue pill hell after blue pill hell after blue pill hell, I said, you know what? If I want this to end, this is what I got to do. This is what I got to sacrifice. This is what I have to cause to happen. I have to come out of my shell. I have to put myself out there, you know? I have to take risk, right? And that's pretty much what I do. I take risk. That's the measure of my success. There's only 2 secret powers. There's only 2 secret powers that I have. And the first one is I know I can only control myself. And the second one is I take risks. That's it. It's not that hard, you know? It's not that hard to do. So what happened in that room, in that apartment with those 4 or 5 guys and the one Chica, was not about the Chica. And it really wasn't about them, because if you don't have it, right, you don't have it. But if you're on a budget and you're like, well, if I give up this like, you got to really think this is a scenario in some guys' lives. If I give up this $200 for my safety, how do I eat the next week that I'm here? Now, that should never happen. The part about having to think about, I have no one else to turn to borrow, to call up, whatever. These niggas I'm fucking with ain't gonna hold me down. I can't be vulnerable with them and tell them this, right? They don't know my situation. That's more whole ass nigga shit, because you gotta be upfront and real about your situation in life. You should never lie. You should never feel compromised, and you should never feel like you gotta put on a show. Don't front. If you're gonna front, you shouldn't even be traveling anyway, Like, I'll give you an example with this ABC trip. The person that I came up with the idea just for them to go. Somehow they wrote me into going with them, but I really didn't want to. But I told them up front, I said, look, my goals is staying where I'm at. I'm good. Now I gotta leave and come back. What that's gonna do is it's gonna put me in this position. So my budget to do this trip for 2 weeks, just to split the things we need, like a place to stay and a car. That's like $600. I think I said $600 or $650, something like that. I was like, that's what I got. That's all I got for that. And they were like, okay. I was like, that's all I got. Tell me if that works. If that doesn't work, I can maybe do a little bit something. I can maybe try to do some more, but right now, that's what I got, $650. That's what I got. I'll send you that right now through PayPal. If it doesn't work, let me know. And they were like, sure, okay, that's fine, that works. Now I gotta pay for my own other stuff, like my food and my little extras and all that stuff. But my split on the Airbnbs and the car and all that. As a matter of fact, I ended up still having to pay for my own Airbnb and my own taxis later at the last part of the trip. But that's a whole nother topic. It's not really important. But the point is, when you travel with other men, you need to let them know your circumstances. And if you can't be mature enough to do that, then you have a whole nother set of issues with yourself. Because I don't front. I don't got to put on for nobody. You know what I mean? I know what I got. I know what I'm backed up with. But, I walk around. I want to walk around like these guys in dad sandals and faded swimming trunks, and I don't want to look like much and be caked up. Be able to eat, oof, and have a beer in that order when I want to. You know what I'm saying? I go out every night if I want, or I'll just lay low every night if I want. But the point is, I can do that. So you should never feel like that. Don't let no one make you feel like that. And I think that that's what happened in this situation, because it was like one dude came up with some money. I don't know how much it was. They came up with some money, but I explained why she couldn't take it. Another dude came up with some more money, and it was like, at that point, what they did before that had already pissed her off, so she didn't care no more about money. But you guys watch that video, you know what I'm talking about. But I do feel like money should have not been an issue. Somebody should have been like, you want to get paid, the taxi's downstairs, we go into the ATM machine. Come on. That's what should have happened. And why didn't that happen? Because our economics is messed up. Now, I'm not saying we're poor and we're broke, but we're not well off enough where we can give out a substantial amount of money, and $200 is not a substantial amount of money. My phone bill is $350 a month. So, but we should be able to do something like that and be like, it's easy. I'm going to bed. And walk away. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. You guys want to throw in on this? Knock yourselves out. Here you go, miss. Here goes your. And remember now, if she was only with one guy, I don't want to rehash everything, but remember now, if she was only with one guy, right? Why is everyone trying to pay her? But that's just little plot holes that just have me curious. But anyway, I would have just plopped that down and went to bed. That's it, It's right there. Then you look like the good guy. But again, like I said, we can't do that if our economics ain't right. And so when we realize where we're at, our place in the economic scale, and black women screaming at the top of their lungs, they want us to make $150,000, $250,000 a year, which is still a parsley amount. I mean, they're more delusional with their understanding of men's salaries than anything, because that still ain't no money. But, I don't know. I have a chart. I'm not going to put it in here. Maybe I will put it up as a thumbnail. I have a chart that will show you what percentage of men make what amount of money. And you'll be surprised to see the percentage of men that make more than $1 million a year. You'll be very surprised to see that. Of course, that's not us, but, And somebody's going to say, oh, athletes. No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. And still, even though it is, they're of a different group. They're of a much smaller group than us in that bracket. So, again, when I talk about these numbers, when I talk about the use of numbers, you got to understand that a number that is infinitesimal is insignificant in a sum. So if you have 1 against 100,000, the 1 is insignificant in a sum. Like how they talk about 4% of billionaires are African American. Well, guess what? That's infinitesimal to 96% of billionaires who are Caucasian and Asian. Caucasian Asian, right? That is 4%. Is you know how many people that is? If you don't want to believe me, you can look at this YouTuber known as Yvette Carnell. She has a great video. I'm gonna try to put it in a link, but you can look at her video. She talks about this really well. Maybe it's Black Household Wealth is the name of the video, but she talks about how the dominant culture has millions of millionaires. So they have 4, 5, 6, 10 million millionaires, and we don't even have that. We have maybe a couple of hundred, and they all play sports. Because even most athletes don't really make $1 million. So anyway, what can we do? Here are some solutions. What we can do. What we can control. There are a lot of college degrees you can get that lead to careers that pay $100,000 or more. Okay, that could take you 4 years. You might be in college right now. Change your major, takes you 2 years. You go into that career pays $250,000 or more. Okay, a couple of degrees that do that. You could be trucking. Trucking is it's at its peak and it's plateauing, but it's paying the highest it's ever going to pay, and that's like $150K plus a year, right? But that's good. It's at its highest, right? You got to take risk. Entrepreneur is just French for risk taker. I don't think nobody ever understood that or knew that, because when they talk about black women as entrepreneurs, what they're really saying is that black women take more risk than we do. And that's just not true. Black women don't take more risk than we do. But I guess if you call them entrepreneurs, they do, but they don't really take more risk than we do, than black men. Black men are out here doing anything to make $1, legal and illegal. So we got to take more risk. Ultimately, number 4 is we got to organize. We need another Million Man March, and we need to march on DC and demand equity. Demand our fair share. Now, before I get the reparation nuts in the building, understand it doesn't have to be a check. I'm pretty sure at this point we're never going to see a check. At least our generation won't. But what we can see is we can see exemptions and waivers and remuneration of stuff that we already do. So for example, exemption from income tax, exemption from sales tax, And when we can't get exemptions from sales tax, our sales tax are remunerated. They pay it back to us. Okay? Just those things alone will help us in the grand scheme of things. Just those things alone will help us become more formidable in achieving wealth and growing our assets, right? Maybe they give us free car insurance or subsidized car insurance. That would help. Subsidized life insurance. That'll help, right? They got USAA. Make USAA available to only African Americans, whether they serve in the armed services or not. Or most of us have a family member, so extend it to extended family members, right? Cousins, godbrothers and such, brother-in-laws and such, right? You have one person who can sponsor you. If not, you got to get a special thing, and then you can get into USAA, right? So many ways we can get remuneration without them having to cut a check, that I'm sure just to get us to shut up about reparations, they will do these things. But they won't if we don't organize. If we don't organize and we don't march on them. So that's my take for today about the big elephant in the room, our economics. This is the solutions I came up with, and that's what I got to say about it. And I don't really want to see this happening again. I don't. It's so embarrassing. It's so dangerous. And I think, I really hope those guys come away better for this. And I really feel upset that they had to experience that uneasiness of what's going to happen to them, right, while they're there. I want to do something special and set up a fund to help travelers in emergency situations, mainly us. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to probably put a link in the description. So if you don't see it, come back and check on this video for the link so you can join the form. And when it goes live, you can donate. Maybe I'll start a GoFundMe or something for travelers who are in trouble, right? It only makes sense. But this will only be a one-time thing, though. You can't call every week because you got into some shit. Like, and you shouldn't be doing this shit. But if you have a situation and you don't have the funds, we can get you the funds in your PayPal or in your Cash App, and you can go to the ATM and withdraw the money and stay safe. Stay safe, stay free, you know. It's sad that I think this comedian dude that they talk about, the Asian guy in Medellin that got murdered, they were holding him ransom for $2,000. $2,000. That's hard. That's a hard blow, man. To lose your life over $2,000. I mean, we have lost our lives over a lot less, but, you know, I think $2,000 is something that he should have been able to do. I don't know what the details were, if that's even true, but it's just so fucked up that they murdered that man for $2,000. And I don't know how long they thought that was going to last them, or the level of desperation they were going through, but that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. So, all right, that's all I got today. Travel Wolves in the building. Stay loose, brothers. Peace.